Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. In this episode, we are going to be answering the question around how a narcissist loves you. I mean, they have to love someone, don't they? At least for some given time, because we all need someone special in our life that we like to be with, and maybe their love is just different to the love that you and I feel as someone who's not a narcissist. So my belief is that people ask themselves this question: how does a narcissist love? When they've been abused by a narcissist, number one, because you've been conditioned to blame yourself for the abuse, or you've come from previous trauma where it's been role modeled to you that love and abuse, love and control go hand in hand. And when you've been told that you're the problem, there's something wrong with you for so long, it's very easy to be manipulated into believing that this is what love looks like. You're just not lovable. Or that the person who is abusing you is treating you this way because you've done something wrong. They really do love you and you just have to try harder. You just have to be a better boy or girl. And then the person who loves you will come out and they will stop treating you the way they're treating you. So if you've ever been tangled up with a narcissist, whether it's a partner, a husband, a wife, a parent, or even a friend, then you've probably asked yourself this question. Well, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, whichever is your preference, take a deep breath, and we're going to unpack this together. So how does a narcissist love you? Well, I guess it all depends on what your version of love is. Now, my version, I'm assuming, is going to be very similar to what yours is. In that love is not just a word. It is an action where we show another person that we have compassion for them, we respect them, we're loyal, we trust them, they trust us, and our actions to this person we say we love, we feel that we love, reflect feelings of empathy, kindness, and of course, never intentionally wanting to hurt that person. In other words, love feels good. So it's really important to understand what your version of love is so you can look at the actions of the narcissist in your life and work out whether what they're doing and how they're treating you reflects someone that loves you. So narcissists, in my opinion, believe that they love. They will certainly tell you that they love you all the time when they're trying to manipulate you. But what they're doing and what they're saying are certainly things that totally contradict each other. Their actions do not match up with their words. So remembering that love is actually a verb, it's a doing word, it's an action, then when a narcissist is saying those words to you, I love you, you've got to look at what they're doing. So to a narcissist, when they say, I love you, they probably believe that they do, but their version of love and your version of love are going to be very, very different. So we need to look at what the narcissist version of love is, which is going to be very, very different to what you believe love is. So you may read in certain articles or watch certain YouTube videos where the author will say that narcissists do love, but just not in the way that you do, not in the way that a healthy, emotionally available person like you loves someone else. But I don't believe it's helpful to say that, because what it means is that every person has a different version of what love is. And to a trauma-bonded victim who is looking for any reason to keep their drug, the narcissist whom they're trauma-bonded to, in their life, saying to them that the narcissist really does love you, or they did at some stage, is giving that person that drug that we call hopium. It's giving that victim an out, a reason to stay in that toxic environment that is so addictive. Because if this person does love you, but just in a different way to what you think that love should look or feel like, then if you just do all the right things, they might love you back in the way that actually feels good. So I'm just going to put it out there, my belief, which is no, narcissists do not love. They use and abuse, and you could swap that word love for control. When they're saying, I love you, you could swap that word for I control you, because that is what they're doing. And to a narcissist, love is just a word, because that word is not backed up by the actions that feel good. And I love you are three of the most manipulative words in the English language when they come out of the mouth of a narcissist. So bearing all of that in mind, that love is an action, or it's supposed to be, that feels good, let's just take a look at what the narcissist version of love is. So the narcissist version of love, as you know, comes with conditions, control, and a whole lot of confusion. And depending on who you are and the role that you play in their life, whether you're a lover or a parent or a sibling, it can look a whole lot different on the surface. But underneath, it's all running on that same toxic fuel where the word love is used or expressed by them to get their narcissistic supply. So let's start off with romantic relationships, because I think this is where people often get hooked in the hardest. So in the beginning, it feels like this fairy tale. The narcissist just wants to be with you every second of the day. They shower you with all of this attention and affection, and maybe even gifts and text messages, the equivalent of a Hallmark greeting card. They'll text you, good morning, good night, my princess, my prince. They'll say things to you like, I've never felt this way about anyone else before, even if they've said exactly the same thing to their last 5 soulmates, or they're saying it to another 3 targets that they're grooming at the same time that they're with you. So most of you will have heard of this phase. It's called the love bombing or the idealization phase. And this is the narcissist version of courting you, you could say. But here's the catch. It's not about you. It's a tactic to hook you in. They need to make sure that you are fully invested before they rip that love away, and they start testing your boundaries by devaluing you and seeing just how much they can get away with as they chip away at your ability to trust your instincts and see those red flags for exactly what they are. I once had a client come to see me in their narcissistic abuse recovery. And by the way, guys, if you'd like to have a one-on-one Zoom counseling session with me, please just see my website link in the description. But this client, he was a man. He said that at first she made him feel like a king. And then by little, he just felt invisible. And he felt like on most days that she detested him. And it was only every blue moon that she would use those words, I love you. And he didn't even notice this slow decline from feeling like her king on a pink cloud into this person that he felt she hated most of the time. And this is because the narcissist's love, which is not backed up by consistent patterns of behavior over space and time that feel good, it's not about mutual respect and growth. It's about control. It's about possession. The narcissist wants to own your admiration. They want your attention. They want your loyalty, even though their loyalty is totally off limits to you. But once they've got all those things from you, that is when the love stops feeling like it is love that is backed up by action that feels good, because that's when the devaluation starts. And I think that's one of the most important things to remember when you're asking yourself if this person loves you, because someone who genuinely loves you does not go from a Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. They don't make you feel like they hate you on one day and then you're the most important person in their world on the next day. That is not love. That is manipulation. And someone who loves you doesn't abuse you on any given day, and someone who abuses you doesn't love you on the other days. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde persona also becomes evident when they mirror your dreams and all of your values and all of your likes and dislikes at first, making you feel like you're loved, making you feel like you've finally found your soulmate. But later on, you know, they will use those very dreams against you by dismissing all of your ambitions, by future faking and making you doubt your own worth. So a narcissist believes they love you and shows you that love when they know they can control you and they can keep you off kilter and off balance. They need to feel superior, and the one way they do that is by slowly eroding away any semblance of self-esteem. So you become dependent on them for validation. When they have someone who is willing in their eyes to never have any boundaries or needs of their own and makes it all about the narcissist, then yes, they may say to themselves, yeah, I think I love this person. Now, I just want to shift gears a little bit here and talk about narcissistic love as it appears when it's coming from a toxic narcissistic parent. Let's take a look in particular at the roles their children play, the golden child and the scapegoat child dynamic. So something I should have mentioned earlier is that love is not supposed to be conditional. It's supposed to be unconditional with no strings attached to it. And when a narcissistic parent is showing their child that they love them, it is never in the nurturing way that a child needs. Their love is transactional. It's all about them, and it depends on how well their child meets their needs. So a narcissistic parent will pit their own children against each other through triangulation. They will have a golden child and a scapegoat child if there is another child in the family. And the golden child is normally the one who makes the parent look good. They will get all the good grades and they'll be charming. They'll win awards. And a lot of this time, this is happening because the parent is also rewarding that child for those things, and that child is forever trying harder to please, to get that admiration from the parent. In other words, the love they get from their parent is conditional, because any scapegoat child will tell you that they could never please their parent, and they were always trying hard to get the affection and attention that their golden child sibling received. Now, those roles of scapegoat child and golden child, they can shift at any time on that triangle, depending on how the child pleases or displeases the parent. So if you're an only child, you might go from being their one and only who's getting all of this admiration one day to being the scapegoat the next day, depending on how you're meeting that parent's needs at that time. One of my beautiful clients who came to see me a while ago described her narcissistic mother like this. She said that she would get an A on her report card, and her mother would say, well, why didn't you get an A plus? Or if her sister failed a class, then somehow it was her fault for distracting her. If she had have just been a better child, then her sister would have done better at school. It was all her fault. She could never do anything to please the narcissistic mother. And every time she thought she had, the mother would just shift the goalposts. The children and the adult children of narcissistic parents will often struggle with self-worth or perfectionism and people-pleasing tendencies. And this is all rooted in their early experiences of that love their parent showed them, or that conditional love. So whether it's a parent or it's a partner or it's a friend, the same golden thread runs through all of these relationships, and that is that the narcissist's love is always about them. And that's how you know they don't love as you and I know love to be, because love is not just about you, it's about you and the actions that you reciprocate that make you and that other person feel important, and all of those wonderful things I spoke about earlier. The love when you make them feel good about themselves. That's what's important to them, when you're reflecting back to them how amazing and powerful they are, and when you obey all of their unspoken rules. The moment you challenge them, or you have any type of need or boundary of your own, or you just fail to meet their expectations in some way, that is when that love gets withdrawn. And sometimes it will be in an instant. So once again, getting back to that question, how does a narcissist love? It all depends on your version of love. So if you believe, and I'm being reflective here. I'm trying to get you to really, really dig deep. If you believe that love is conditional, it's transactional, and it's only given to you if you please that other person, then yes, that narcissist does love you. Healthy adult love is about having empathy. It's about compromise and caring about the other person's well-being. The narcissist version of love and how they love is about what can you do for me right now? And if you stop providing that narcissistic supply to them, they will just drop you and move on, and they will do it in an incredibly cruel fashion. Another couple of examples would be the narcissistic friend who is so supportive when you're struggling on certain occasions because it makes them feel superior. They're getting all of your admiration because they're helping you. It's about them. But you watch them on a day or at a time when you're succeeding or getting all of this attention, or if you're a girl who has the better looking boyfriend, or vice versa, if you're a guy, they will suddenly appear all distant and they will subtly start to undermine you and smear you to others because you have brought out that pathological envy in them. The narcissistic boss, they will praise you in meetings when your success makes them look good. It reflects well on them. But the moment you make a mistake, which we all do as human beings, which is going to make them look bad, or maybe you have a really successful moment that outshines them, they will tear you down, or they'll take credit for all of your hard work. So that's how a narcissist loves you. And I believe that sometimes, or a lot of the time, they actually believe they do love you, but it is conditional. There is always strings attached to it. But the reason it's so confusing for you as a victim is because it feels good at certain times. And the reason it feels good, especially after the love bombing has ended, is because of the contrast between the rock bottom bad days when they're abusing you and the days when they're simply just being a normal person, just simply a day when they're not abusing you. The big difference between their love and the abuse makes those little breadcrumbs feel so good, and victims mistake these times. They cling on to those breadcrumbs as occasions when the narcissist did love them. And you know what? Those romance books and all of those romantic movies where there's all this drama in the beginning and the couple come together in the end after all of this toxicity, that's made out to be passion, and all of the drama is because these people are just trying so hard to be together, and you've got to go through all of those rocky times to get to that place of love. But that's not real life. That's not reality. That roller coaster is not based on passion. It's based on toxicity. Yes, we all argue and we have little bad isolated arguments, bad interactions with the person we love. But these are just little blips on the scale of love, rather than this huge roller coaster of perceived major highs and rock bottom lows. So I think we all need a reminder about what healthy love actually looks like when especially you've been abused by a narcissist, because they distort your reality so bad and they make those breadcrumbs feel so good. So here's the thing. Here's your reminder. Real love is consistent. It is not this pattern of behaviors where there's all of these major highs and major lows. It's not conditional. Real love is about respecting your boundaries. Real love is about wanting you to feel secure and free, and it makes you feel safe, not anxious. In other words, in a relationship with someone who truly loves you, you are not constantly walking on eggshells, hypervigilant to what kind of mood they're in. Real love is not based on control. Love and control are not the same thing. It's based on mutual care. And you're allowed to have disagreements without having that ingrained fear of being punished. And it grows over time instead of starting off in this intense lightning bolts and fireworks going off beginning and then fading, or I should say coming to a screeching halt when the love bombing finishes. So to summarize, I believe that a narcissist does not love, because you have to have empathy to love someone else. They attach to another human being like a flea to a dog, and they drop off when they're full to the brim, or you just run out of supply to give them. When they're full of all the good qualities that you possess and you're drained of them, they will simply discard you and move on to a new target that is brimming with life-giving narcissistic supply. And I think the real healing begins in coming to accept, as painful as it is, that the narcissist doesn't love. They can't love, and they didn't love you. Not because you're unlovable, because that's the way they make you feel, but because of who they are. Real healing comes when you can redefine what real love is, when you stop settling for those breadcrumbs and you start expecting the full meal, which comes with respect, empathy, genuine kindness, and care. I will probably have my critics out there when I say this, but I don't believe it's helpful to tell a victim that the narcissist did love you, but it was just in their own way, because it sets you up as a trauma-bonded victim to minimize your worth and look at those breadcrumbs as being good enough, and looking at those breadcrumbs as actually being love and all that you're worth. So if you were in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, or you grew up with a narcissistic parent, then it is so normal to have a warped sense of what love is, but you can relearn and you will heal, and you can build relationships that are actually rooted in the real thing. Remember, you are worthy of love. The narcissist lied to you. Your love that you are worth does not come with strings attached to it. You are worthy of someone who chooses you every single day and does not want you to walk on eggshells, and they do not want to make you feel insecure to fight for the scraps of affection they give you to boost their ego. Healing from the narcissist version of love takes time. So if you are still struggling with the confusion, if you are still ruminating about the breadcrumbs, that is so normal. It's irrational, but normal given the context of your abuse. So please, guys, get lots and lots of support from a trauma-informed therapist like myself, someone who understands the dynamic in narcissistic abuse. It's about processing all of those behaviors that you had to engage in and all of those faulty beliefs that kept you alive during this abuse, during your trauma, unlearning all of that and replacing them with healthier ones. So please remember, guys, you deserve so much better, and it is never too late to get lots of support and to start claiming it. But the first step comes in recognizing that what you experienced was not love. And also remembering that you did nothing to deserve what they did to you. This was not your fault. And what you experienced was because of who they are and their insatiable need to use and abuse other people. The narcissist version of love, the love they profess to give you, is not true love. The kind that nourishes and heals and makes you feel secure, where you never have to question the way they feel about you, and you always feel safe and heard and understood. What they gave you was simply control, dressed up as love and passion and wrapped up in fake affection. And guys, that's never love. That's manipulation. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Don't forget, guys, if you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, a counseling session via Zoom, please just see my website link in the description, where you can also order your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Please remember, guys, that you are worth so much more. And now that you know that the narcissist never loved you, it was not your fault, but the pain you feel comes with grieving the loss of this person in your life that you believed at one stage did actually love you. And that loss is real, and you need lots of support to process what has happened to you. And if you'd like to support the channel, guys, the best thing you can do is to leave a rating and a review, and to share. That's what gets it out there and helps out with that horrible old algorithm. And if you'd like to go one little step further, there's a link below where I would love it if you could buy me a cup of coffee. I absolutely love my coffee. Now, until tomorrow's episode, I want you all to remember that you are so worthy of love, and you are definitely worthy of a whole lot more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.